What's good, everybody? This is day two. This is day two of the not making music series, but focus more on the mental. We're gonna clean that up somewhere in this, but I go by Get You a Monte. I'm a creator. I make music, edit video. Bro, I'm a creator, bro. Just like you guys. Y'all probably seen my work. You probably haven't. That's not the case here. The case here is just focused on the mental. Today we're gonna talk about burnout, bro. Like, you get put so much like, we gotta work, we gotta work, we gotta work, we gotta work, we gotta work. And don't get me wrong, bro. Working is great. Like, always get your work in. You know what I'm saying? Put your reps in, hit your steps, whatever. But you gotta realize that if you don't take the proper rest when you working, you're gonna burn out really fast. So it's like, yeah, you can do 40 videos for the first week, but are you consistently gonna be able to keep 40 videos for the second week, and the third week, and the fourth week? And it's like, when you're setting a goal, it's easy to set this goal and be like, all right, I'm gonna hit this goal. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. But nobody talks about the inner work in the goal that you have to do to get to where it is that you want to be. Because it's like, for instance, if you look at Grammy artists, right? Let's say you wanted a Grammy. Most of the people that I've looked at when I've looked at Grammys, they have it at minimal 300 tracks out that have done something. You know what I'm saying? 300 tracks at minimal. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it that way, you got to have 300 tracks out to even be considered for a Grammy. And this is not even talking about like the quality and everything else. That's a different conversation. But you have to have 300 songs out to even be considered for a Grammy, in my opinion. When you look at everybody else, not even my opinion, when you look at everybody else, you got to have 300 songs out to have a Grammy. So I know, for me, if I want to win a Grammy, I have to have 300 songs out. Okay, so if I break that down to 10 years, that's 30 songs a year. If I break it down to 5 years, that's 60 songs a year. But you have to be able to do that work in that time for that specific award. But nobody tells you, if you're doing 60 songs a year, what that burnout process will do, because what is actually your process? Because we know that when you're putting out songs and things like that, you gotta have, at this point in time right now, it's not about the music no more. It's more about everything else that comes in with the music. So like, when you have your music, right, you gotta have the videos to connect with it. If you're showing something in a video with the visuals, you gotta have like all those sounds and things to make it make sense, and you gotta have people to feel it. So like, music, you just can't post a MP3 anymore, because the MP3 doesn't live out in the world like, I mean, hell, a video would, or a connected concept. So that's what I mean when it comes out, when it comes down differently with music. You just can't post music like you did before. But with all that being said, at the same time too, there's a lot more work that comes into it. And if you're doing everything yourself, bro, that's another thing that you have to like prep for your mental, because in your mental, you could be like, oh damn, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. But if the creative energy isn't there, sometimes you just working, but you know what I'm saying? You gotta have the energy and stuff behind it. So basically, my whole point with all this is, burnout is a thing, bro. And you have to manage your burnout. You have to manage yourself so you don't get burned out, because then you'll just be in a place where it's like, you've done all this work, but is this work even like warranted? Like, what did I do all this for? You know what I'm saying? Because if you get to a point where let's say you did the 40 videos for a month, and you do all the videos, but the videos don't even make sense, or they're not hitting like you thought they were, then you got to go back and figure all that out. But that potentially can burn you out too, because even on a small scale, let's say you did 100 videos a month, and none of those 100 videos hit. You still have to figure out the template of what works with you. I mean, it's a lot of things. You can't just start off and then just do a whole bunch of videos and think it works if you didn't study the process and what it took for everybody else to do it. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is, because I'm trying to say a lot, but burnout, it's a thing. Like, you do get burned out. You do get to a point where you don't feel like this is something that you feel like doing right now. Or you just get to a point where you've been doing it so much that your mind is like, bro, I just need a break. And a break is cool. A break is cool. But you also have to do within that break that you're taking, you still have to remind yourself, you know, like just the little things. You feel me? Like a basketball player doesn't take a full break for a month. I mean, hell, he's at least conditioning or doing something to get better at his game. And that's what you have to do when burnout in certain subjects. Like, if I burn out in music, okay, let me figure out what I can do a video, so when I do get the music, I can incorporate all that with what I'm doing. But at the same time too, you never stop doing what it is that you want to do. So even though I'm not making music right now and I'm not really listening to music, I still go and watch a video on how this person made their music, or what this does, or putting your snare off. It's just all the little intrinsic tricks that you still want to learn. But the whole purpose of this video, because I'm going off tangent, is that burnout is a thing. It is a thing. It's a thing when it comes down to all this creative energy and all the stuff that we're doing. It's a thing. Like, you have to prep for the burnout, because the way that you're feeling today, you might not feel that way forever. And it could just be something that can knock you off your course and make you look at the whole thing differently. But even with that, you have to understand that burnout is a part of the creative process. It's a part of it, because you're breaking down old walls to make new walls. But then when you set those new walls, you have to build those new walls down to make newer walls, because we're constantly evolving. So even if you work out, even if you work to your fullest and you don't feel that way of work is substantial anymore, it's because you're growing. You know what I'm saying? But you don't even know that until you get to that point of burnout where it's like, oh, okay, so I didn't do that part right. I didn't do that part right. And it brings more success into the time when you're able to do it again. But I mean, all in all, my tangent, man, burnout is a thing. Creatively, it's just one of those things where you have to come back into yourself and figure out, I mean, what it is that you want to do all over again, if you're still on your purpose of what you're doing now and certain things like that. But I guess with all this being said, because I'm going on a tangent, I feel it, the biggest thing about a burnout is just know that everything is going to be okay. Know that as a creator, you have to trust yourself in that process, and you just have to do what intuitively, am I saying that right? Intuitively, you have to do what feels right to you. And the only way you know that is if you look inside and you figure that out. So in the process of burning out, just know that you are doing the right thing. And it may take a while for you to actually realize that, hey, I am doing the right thing. And that's perfectly okay, because the idea that you put out today, it's probably going to take 2 years for it to make sense to anybody anyway. So what I mean by that is, like, for my music success, in a sense, any song that I put out or anything that we did, it took it 2 years for it to actually get cracking, for it to make sense to other people. And that's kind of how we live in this world now. Like, especially if you start making content now, like, you're fresh. Nobody knows who you are. So it takes time for people to get to understand who you are and know who you are. So you got to get through that. All in all, just know that this creative journey, whatever it is that you're doing, it's a process, bro. You're going to go through certain things that will only enhance your creative process even better. You have to change your perspective and look at it from a whole and bring it in. But with all that, know that burnout is a thing that, I mean, it's going to be there. And when it shows up, you got to know what you're looking at, and you got to know to attack it. And just know that your ideas will come back fresher in the time that you take a break. Because at the end of the day, bro, and this is the biggest thing that I'm missing, and I'm going to go. When you burn out, the best thing you can do is get away. Because sometimes you can miss some of the stuff that you would normally catch, but your mind is so exhausted that it misses it. So when you do get to a point of burnout, bro, just take a break. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking a break, bro. Rome wasn't built in a day. Einstein didn't make the light bulb in a week. He kept going at this stuff forever and ever and ever until he hit that switch and the light bulb came out. So yeah, the biggest thing is don't quit. Even through your burnout periods, you are still that guy. You are still that person that's going to do exactly what they said that they're going to do. So go do that. Just you going through this burnout today doesn't mean in the next year you're going to be exactly who you said you was going to be. Appreciate the burnout, appreciate the process, and keep creating. Love y'all. Let's get it.